Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. We are in Genesis 21. We're going to do 3 episodes on Genesis 21, 3 different stories that happen in that chapter. Today we're talking about the birth of Isaac. Have you ever waited for something and it took forever? Like, say you ordered something and it took forever to come. Or someone said, hey, I'm going to do this for you, and you waited and waited, and you thought, is it ever going to happen? That's what takes place in this story today. We've been talking about Abraham for quite a while here, and how God promised Abraham and Sarah a son. Abraham is now 100 years old, okay? And finally, a son is born to him. And remember, God said a great nation is going to come from you. And the people so numerous, it's going to be as many as the stars in the sky and also the sand in the seashore. A lot of people. All right, so let's read today from Genesis 21, verses 1 through 7. Okay? It says this, Now the Lord was gracious to Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah what he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore a son to Abraham in his old age, at the very time God had promised him. Abraham gave the name Isaac to the son Sarah bore him. When his son Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him as God had commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Sarah said, God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me. And she added, Who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? Yet I have borne him a son in his old age. Okay? It goes back to the promises of God. And God had said this, and it even says it in the passage here today, that he had promised, did for Sarah what he had promised. That's in verse 1. God had fulfilled everything he had promised, and God does it in his own time, even though his time was like a long time. Okay, today if there's a father that's 100 years old, we're like, no way that could happen. All right, and it was back then. It was like, well, these guys are way past their child rearing, child birthing age. Okay, and it's like the clock has ticked and it is now talked. It's the biological clock is over, done. But God promised, and he fulfilled his promise. And so Abraham now has a son. And there are several things that God was bringing him through. You can see, the sin pattern that he had. We had talked about this in past episodes. The sin pattern he had of being dishonest about his wife Sarah, instead calling her a sister, and so forth, and things like that. God brought him through all that, and in his time, he fulfilled the promise of a son born to him. Okay, and you can see Isaac is born to them. And so, again, it's a fulfilling of God's promise. So take heart when God has given us different promises. And God's always watching out for you, okay? And God will fulfill his promises. It might not be like tomorrow. And the answer to your prayers, it might not be tomorrow, but it might be in the future. Or it might be something that, like, Abraham wasn't ready for a son yet, according to God. But in God's timing, he provided everything and took care of everything. All right? So, hopefully that makes sense to you. Thank you for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through Genesis. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.